Imagine this. Two people walk into the same data analyst interview. Both know SQL, both have certifications, both practiced hundreds of interview questions. Only one walks out with a six-figure job offer. Why? Because the interviewer wasn't testing SQL. They were testing how that person thinks. Today, I'm going to show you the hidden rule behind every great SQL interview. And once you understand it, you'll never practice SQL the same way again. Let's start at the end. The interviewer smiles. Congratulations. We'd like to offer you the position. Most people think that moment happened because you memorized joins, group by, or window functions. It didn't. Let's rewind. 5 minutes earlier, the interviewer asked a simple question. Find the second highest salary. Thousands of candidates have seen this question. Thousands still fail. Not because they don't know SQL, because they rush. They immediately start typing. The strongest candidates don't. They pause. They ask, can multiple employees have the same salary? What database are we using? Do you want the second highest unique salary or simply the second row after sorting? In less than 30 seconds, they've already shown something more valuable than syntax. They've shown judgment. Now rewind again. Hours before the interview, another candidate was memorizing 50 SQL queries. Our successful candidate wasn't. They were asking a different question. What business problem is this query solving? That's how real data analysts think. A company doesn't care whether you know the syntax for group by. They care whether you can explain why sales dropped in California, why customer retention decreased, why revenue increased while profit fell. SQL is simply the language you use to answer business questions. Now imagine you're working for an online store. Millions of orders arrive every month. Your manager asks, which customers haven't purchased anything in the last 90 days? You could write a query, or you could first ask, should canceled orders count? Should refunds be excluded? Are we measuring from today's date or the last reporting period? Those questions separate professionals from beginners. Now let's look at the SQL itself. Suppose you have an orders table. Every order has a customer ID, an order date, and an order amount. You don't begin by writing code. You begin by thinking. First, identify the customers, then filter recent purchases, then group the results. Finally, return only inactive customers. Notice something. The SQL becomes simple because the thinking became clear. This is why experienced analysts appear fast. They're not typing faster, they're thinking better. Now here's another interview favorite. The interviewer asks, which product generated the highest revenue? Many candidates immediately calculate total sales, but great analysts ask, revenue before returns or after returns, gross revenue or net revenue, which date range? Those questions prove you understand business, not just databases. And that's exactly what companies are paying for. Here's the biggest lesson. SQL isn't about writing queries. It's about making decisions with data. Every select answers a question. Every where removes distractions. Every group by discovers patterns. Every join connects pieces of a story. Once you understand that, SQL stops feeling like a programming language. It becomes a tool for solving real business problems. So the next time you practice SQL, don't ask, what's the correct syntax? Ask, what decision will this query help someone make? Because companies don't hire people who memorize SQL. They hire people who can turn data into decisions. And that's the real secret behind every successful data analyst interview. If you master that mindset, you're no longer just learning SQL. You're learning how to think like the person companies actually want to hire.